Buenos dias. สวัสดีครับสวัสดีจ้า I'll wipe the crust off of these things so I can see here. What kind of a lag time do we have? Let's see here. Oh, we're live. Okay, good. Got to get my act together here. As you can see behind me, I did survive the one chip challenge, but barely. You know, I did the video about the aftermath, but what I didn't put up was that there was more. Even the next day, I was feeling pain on the toilet. It is some spicy stuff, but it's not as, you know, I was talking to somebody yesterday, and it's not about the pain that you feel in your mouth and the burning in your mouth and the, you know, your nose running and your eyes watering. All that, you can get over that. It's the stomach cramps, which they were quite gnarly. I think for now, there's some things going on with me. I'm going to put a hold on the gummy bear. My wife wants to eat the gummy bear. She can have at it. If anybody else that's in Bangkok that watches wants to meet up and they want to eat the gummy bear on camera, I'll even give you an extra one if you want for off camera, if you so desire, because I know there's not many people that are going to eat it. It's that spicy. And the chocolate, forget about it. I don't think I can handle it right now. I haven't been feeling well lately, so but that's neither here nor there. Let me put these back on. Let's wait for a few more people to come in. I did survive so far, so I'd like to see some other people. Gennaro, Longhorns. I know Jono's not going to do it. He's not a glutton for punishment. But I know nobody's going to do it. None of these people. Beyond Trinity, all you guys, I'm calling you out. Eat the chip. Let me see you do it. You don't even. You can do an audio. You can do a podcast of it. Because I want to know how other people fare. Anyway, let's get into it here. Right now, the bot is 31.6073. Let me see something here. Actually, it's down even more. It's 31.5976. Yesterday, it was all the way up to about 31.89 against the dollar, which is fantastic. 84 degrees right now. High 88, low of 78. 20% chance of rain. 73% humidity. Winds easterly, 3 miles an hour. Feels like 91 degrees and visibility is 6 miles. Air quality index 98, which is actually decent. It's moderate here. I'll take a few of the grizzly bears. I'll mix them with the rub and give them away. Oh, I'm sure people will love you for that. I'm sure they'll love you for that. Sneak it in there. You know, I think, don't I still have another? I have them around here somewhere. I have one bag of jelly beans left over. I might give them to the Starbucks crew to see what they think about them. The ones at the Cafe Amazon, well, they're all girls, but there's a couple guys at Starbucks, but they didn't really have any problems with them. They didn't particularly like them, though. They're not all that delicious. So, you know, but maybe if I give them a little square of chocolate, they might dig into that. I don't know. Today, first of all, I got to say thank you to my Patreon patrons, the subscribers to my website, the VIP members, the people who contribute through Super Chat and PayPal, and those who purchase T-shirts and all the other stuff, my books and blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Today only, I've got a little deal on the merch. Use the code Malin10, and today only get 10% off of all merch. So if you want to buy a shirt, I got the... actually, it's not my birthday, Fidelity, but happy birthday anyway. Isn't there a cake or something? Let me put a little cake up. Is this a cake? Yeah, I guess it is. It's a cake, and she doesn't want a cake. It's my wife's birthday. She's 21. And somehow we've managed to stay together while she stayed at 21. I don't know how that's happened, but she has got a little more mature over the years. No, mine is in 1962. Let me see something here. I got the new "Don't Bitch to Me" shirt up. I got some new stuff up, so that's good. And that's why I'm putting a little 10% discount on there. You know, try to drum up a little business. Today is the wife's birthday, and I can tell you, you know, it's just like Christmas and even the kids. Well, you know, the kids' birthday, they always get a cake and they get a little something from us, you know, a little gift. And their expectations are fairly reasonable and I dare say low. They're not like saying, "Can I have a new computer?" They don't operate that way. It's more like, you know, my wallet is falling apart. Could I get a new wallet maybe? Sure, no problem. Or I need some cologne or, you know, whatever it is. My wife doesn't care. She really hasn't cared in years. I think she'd rather forget about her birthday. And I don't blame her. The older I get, what's going on here? The older I get, the more I want to forget about my own age and my birthday. Mr. Mitch, how you doing? How you feeling, buddy? You're healed up now, or what's the deal? Completely healed up? You're getting ready to go back to work? Yeah, I mean, you know, that's a lot. And you know, like Alex just told me, how many hours did he say he worked? He worked 7, and he worked 13 hours this week. So if he works 13 hours a week, he makes a little bit of cash, which is good for him. It's enjoyable to see them growing up. You know, that is one of the pleasures in my life. And, you know, just starting the PT. Well, enjoy the nurses, as long as they don't look like Nurse Ratchet. I'll be going to the doctor today. I got to get a little checkup. And I don't look forward to it. I never look forward to going to the doctor. Ever. Ever. At this point now, I don't want to say I hate doctors because, you know, I don't. They help us and, you know, they heal us, blah, blah, blah. But I don't particularly like hospitals. I don't think many people do. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to going at all. Not one bit. But my wife, you know, I've been bugging her. You know, what do you want? Do you want anything? Nah, I don't want anything. Just want to forget about my birthday. So today I said, listen, you know, I'll go out and get you a cake. We'll have some cake for dinner. No, I don't want cake. No, I don't want cake. It's fattening. Okay, well, I'll do what we usually do, which is I'll get some cupcakes. I think you want the cupcakes. I don't want the cupcake. Okay, you know. So for her birthday, you know, I have a little something I'm going to get her, but today I have to go get it. But it's not cake. She's not getting any cake. I said, do you want a special dinner? I can go out and get something. I can make you some. What would you like? Now, I don't know. Maybe she just expects me to read her mind and do everything and just take a chance. But, you know, after 20 years or whatever it is together, 21 years together, I've kind of run out of... My creativity has stalled a little bit. But, you know... There are some Thai women who, you know, like with Valentine's and Christmas and everything. Oh, where is my gift? Gift, 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 gift. I want a gift. That's not her. And I guess I should say I feel, uh, uh, you know, special, honored, thrilled that she doesn't want things. I should be happy about it, but give her a massage. Listen, you're asking a guy to give her a massage that my hands are thrashed. This is what I mean. I got arthritis in my hands. My hands have been hurting a lot lately. Um, I don't feel good. She doesn't particularly feel good after she took a little journey to Chiang Mai. Now, I have to say something about Chiang Mai. Uh, she went and her brother went. They took a jaunt up there. Now, he's never been to Chiang Mai. He hasn't flown. Never flown. So they went up to Chiang Mai. She went for work, and he spent a day roaming around. He was shocked because he said there's so many places closed up, and there's so few tourists. And where there are tourists, there's just that's all there is. Where there are people, there's a lot of tourists. I don't know. You're asking me. He's I don't know. Maybe he's 45, something like that. But he's down in the south there. They've got a rubber farm, and he stays down there. And he comes to Bangkok and he goes to places around the area. He goes to Nakhon Si Thammarat and that kind of stuff. But for whatever reason, he hasn't been to Chiang Mai. So they flew up there, and he hung out, walked around. He said, "Oh, it's very beautiful. The mountain is nice. Blah blah blah." But all in all, oh man, there's not that many people, and I was surprised. This worldwide pandemic is causing some problems, not only here in Thailand, but around the world. I mean, you got Trump talking about it. You got I got a message today from someone from South Korea. It's going berserk there. Italy's taken off. Now, I will say this. I do believe that while it's very dangerous long term, I think short term, if you protect yourself a little bit, you have a relatively good chance of not being infected. But I think long term, this may end up being the super duper flu, and it may end up. I don't know. It depends on what can they do about it. I don't know. But it is affecting things here. My wife said that hotels are shutting down. People are getting let go. Yeah. Let everyone go everywhere. Just let it spread and get it over with. I'm tired of waiting. Yeah, well, nobody cares what you think, unfortunately. Unfortunately, everybody is like, oh, we're going to shut down everything. Nobody can go out. And I will say, I spoke to my father yesterday, and he was saying, I think now is not the time to, because I said to him, I really want to get out of here. I want to travel. I want to, And of course, my mother, she's very pragmatic. She said, well, you have no money to travel right now. And I was like, yeah, well, that aside, that doesn't I usually keep thinking about going somewhere, doing something. What's the next thing I'm going to do? Where am I going to go see? What am I going to go photograph? Blah, blah, blah. But now is not the time to be flying around. Unless you're maybe going home or whatever, coming back, to wherever you live. And my old man said, now is the time to hunker down. Keep your activities to a minimum. And I'll be honest, I don't, aside from going and seeing Jono and Longhorns a couple of times, wow. Yeah, it's affecting the whole world, But aside from going to those, to go see these guys, I really am not going very many places, and one of it is because I don't really feel all that well, which is one of the reasons why I'm going to the doctor today. But the other is, traffic, and the usual traffic, crappy air. The air is filthy most of the time, and but really, it's because I don't want to like stumble into a pack of Chinese tourists or tourists who have come into contact with some Chinese tourist or whatever. And I don't want to end up getting sick because who knows, how, I mean, you don't know what's going to happen. And I preferably, uh, I'll stay healthy as opposed to getting sick from some, dastardly, pandemic, some sickness going around. I think it's best to just kind of hang out and stay where you know you're safe. I think for now at least, that's kind of what. And the thing is I haven't looked at the numbers lately or anything, but I know they're way up. I'm going to look at them right now here. I think Thailand has 40 people right now. 2,858 deaths. Let's see here. Okay, the number of critical people with serious critical status in China has dropped, and the vast majority are still in China of the deaths. Let's see here. United States, 60 people. I don't know, I think at this point, if I don't have much trust in governments right now, the older I get, the less I trust governments. I'm not talking about Thai government. I'm not talking about the U.S. government. I'm not talking about the British. I'm not talking about, the Maltese. I'm talking about all governments. I think it lends itself to, you can't make everybody happy all of the time. So there's always going to be some kind of divisiveness. And I just don't believe that the governments, most of the time, they're either the countries are so long, so large, or they're so inept that you're on your own for the most part. You might have some good medical people that are, sincerely trying to help you, and they're, but for the most part, I wouldn't count on them. I wouldn't count on anybody but yourself. Maybe my commute would be better. I don't think even a cold over here. What? I don't think I've even had to get one every time I go to Thailand. How does one differentiate a cold and the coronavirus? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, this is the other thing. And honestly, I don't want to know. I just don't want to get sick, period. I don't want to get a cold. I don't want to get the flu. I don't want to get anything. Let's see here. How about difference between the common flu and the this new deal? Oh, okay, here we go. Seven common questions. I didn't know we were going to get into this, but this is all over the news. This as they say here, Wairun. How dangerous? It is definitely more contagious than the flu. It's about a 0.1% mortality, whereas the new one, I'm just going to say that because that YouTube they've got their little algorithm thing, their little computer going in. They are listening to what I'm saying, believe it or not. It's the truth. It's 2%. I think people are going to have to keep in mind because we are going to be seeing more cases in the U.S. Mild illness, blah, blah, blah. How quickly is it spreading? In just over a month, at least 80,000 cases, mostly in China. How close are we to a vaccine? What's the risk? Okay, what are the differences? Both are respiratory illnesses. Fever, cough, shortness of breath can apply to both. With the flu, we're very accustomed to this idea that it starts really quickly, a lot of those aches and malaise. Beyond that, there's not really much to distinguish the two other than the travel history. Okay, so in other words, it's in the I guess it's in the testing and in the, what do I say? I was going to say in the genes, in the genetics, in the DNA. No, it's in the, in the whatever. This is what I mean. No, listen, I said that the other day about, only so many people have been tested. You got to understand something. They're still scanning people that are coming in. So while that may not catch everything, that is still in a form a test. They're passing that test. They're being scanned and they're not showing symptoms, so they get through. So, And the thing is that the older you get, and this is one reason why I don't want to get ill, and I don't even like going to the doctor. I never like going to the doctor. No offense. What happened to the... Oh, it's over there. I don't like going to the doctor, period. And now I don't like going to the hospital just for the simple fact that whenever you go to a hospital, there's all kinds of stuff going on inside the hospital. You can catch all kinds of things. It's a breeding ground. There's sick people there. So now, the last thing I want to do is go into some place where there's a bunch of sick people. And guess what? I need to go in. So, fucking A. Happy birthday to my wife. Happy birthday to you. I'm sure we will. Listen, I don't care what she says. Even if Nicholas is the only one who eats it, I'm going to get at least one cupcake so that I can say I got her a cake. If we have a cake, a big cake, we'll all be like, one piece of cake is fine, but, when it comes down to it, a cake, you end up eating 2 or 3 pieces each. It's too much. Thank you very much, Dre. Let's hope this thing doesn't have a few Typhoid Marys cruising around. Well, I guarantee you it does. The other thing, though, is that for the older people, this is a more deadly, just like with the flu, it's more deadly to them and to the younger people who do not have developed immune systems. So there are a lot of people at risk. This could do a lot of damage. Now, it may not do the damage immediately, like in a month or two, but in 2 years, 3 years, if nothing is, they're talking about a vaccine. Listen, you can't get a vaccine for how many things in the world? They don't have a vaccine for the Ebola. They don't have a cure for it. So what's going to happen? All right, the little thing worked. I love that. At least there is some interaction. Oh, I got to tell you that in an effort to continue to monetize my channel, there is a thing now, for whatever reason, I don't know why they allow it. I think it's a beta thing or something, or it was a beta thing, and now they're allowing different people to do it. But if you look down below, first of all, you can see the link, this one, right here. That's the merch one. And then, I hope that works. Let's see, does it work? No, something's wrong here. You got to be kidding me. Let's do it this way. They can make it. Let's do it this way. All right, that should work. Yeah, it works. All right. And then you got to remember the thing, the doodad here. The use the Malin 10. I figure I should push my shirts instead of Manscaped. Because, I don't make anything off of Manscaped. They're too big now to be sending me the free packages of stuff. Here you go. What's this right here? Hopefully this will work. This is the one I'm talking about. Shit, it's not going to work. Give me a second. And don't forget to, I really would like to do this just to be an asshole. Just because. But, hey guys! Welcome to the channel! Let's just dive right into it. Don't forget to click on that like button and smash that bell. Is that what you want me to be like? Do I need to be more mainstream like that? What's the deal? All right, let me see something here. I got to look at this here. Hang on. Here it is right here. Let me do this. There we go. All right. Now I've done that. That should work. Anyway. What is it? I love your faces and your. You want me to be like that? And then maybe I'll get millions of subscribers if I do that. I think I'm a little too blunt for that, though. A little too straightforward. And I don't have big breasts. I was telling my mother, if I had big breasts, I'd have at least double or triple the number of subscribers. But I don't. I got some man boobs a little bit, but, nothing like people really want to see. And plus, I got a hairy chest, so, we might as well forget about that. But anyway, getting back to what we were talking about, the joys of aging. As you get older, you do get a little grumpier. I forget what, I was talking to Jono yesterday. And I think I was bitching and moaning about everything under the sun. And I gotta say that one thing I've been complaining about is that anytime I go to the mall, they don't have any other music. All they play is Love to Love Ya Baby by Donna Summer. Is that what it is? No, I Feel Love. Is that what it is? Yeah, I Feel Love. They're constantly playing. Is that Donna Summer? I don't know. I'm so out of the loop now. It's Donna Summer. I Feel Love. Oh my God. All she sings the whole song is I feel love, I feel love, I feel love, I feel love. I'm not going to say anything bad about Donna Summer. Queen of Disco. But, it was funny because I didn't hear the song yesterday when Jono and I were talking. I didn't hear the song. And I was like, why did they always play that song? And, we went to get something to eat. Jono walked outside, and he comes back and he says, they're playing the song again. They're playing I Feel Love. I'm like, how difficult is it to have a mixtape of like 50 songs? And that way you don't have to listen to the same song over and over and over again. These little minor irritants are what grind my gears. They really grind my gears. Gennaro, how's it going? I'm going to read a few things here. Compare the words aging or elderly with youth and vibrancy. Which do you prefer? When I was in my teens, I had the attitude that I was different from everyone else. Old people were old because they were weak mentally. Aging got the better of them because they allowed it to get the better of them. I decided I'd be an anomaly and stay alive for as long as I damn well pleased. Yeah. Now I know that when I was a kid, I was an idiot. It's the wives. Mrs. Mallon. The boss. Well, she's not the boss, but she likes to... I let her think she is. She doesn't even care about her birthday. I'm like, at least you're going to get off a little bit early from work today? Maybe. You know. Actually, my mother said to me, don't think of yourself as old, think of yourself as part of the elderly. And I was like, you're not making it any better. What's the definition between, this is what I asked her, what's the definition, what's the difference between old and elderly? It makes no difference to me. I'm at the point now where I'm not getting old anymore, I am old. And I even have it this is in my book here. Satchel Paige, the great baseball player, once said, how old would you be if you didn't know how old you was? I mean, seriously, if you forgot how old you were, how would you feel? And I think that to myself, and I think, I'd feel old. Well, I mean, I do feel a little bit smarter. Sometimes I doubt my intelligence, I may have a little bit of common sense, but I dare say I'm smarter than I was when I was, say, 16. I was an idiot. I was an idiot from about the time I was 16 to about the time I was about, I don't know, 50, 55. Maybe I'm still an idiot. I don't know. We're just trying to, I think the end result of life and the whole purpose of life is to make it as long as you can and have the best standard of living. Now, my standard of living is not all that bad. Actually, Mr. Mitch, the reason that I think I'm old is when I look back and I go, oh, that movie's 1976, and I go, holy shit, man, that's almost 45 years ago. I'm like, and I remember that's like, I'm like listening to like something like Led Zeppelin, and I'm like, when was that? Oh, it was like 1973. I'm like, that's almost 50 years old. Well, what's been happening lately is, some of my friends back home have been passing away. Thank you very much, Gennaro. Appreciate that. Some of my friends back home have been passing away. People that I went to high school with, that I grew up with, and I'm like, wow. It's not like catastrophic. They didn't get hit by a car or anything like that. It's like they got cancer, they got leukemia, they got some bone disease or something, and then boom, the next thing you know, they're gone. And I'm like, wow. So usually let me see something here. The, what do you call it? The demographics of my channel tend to be a little older. But I noticed that anytime I put up the thumbnails of youthful, vibrant rear ends of women, or good-looking women, or, decent-looking women, that the demographic changes. Now, let's see here. Yeah, right now I got a demographic. It's showing 25 to 34 years old, 10.5%. 35 to 44, 26.8%. 45 to 54, 33.3%. 55 to 64, 19.4%. And 65 plus, 9.1%. That's partly to do with Jono. Sorry. I had to bring that up. Let me see something here, and that's in the last month. Now let me see. Last month. Oh well, last month I had 16% were 25 to 34-year-olds. So I dare say that the majority of people. Oh, I have those senior moments all the time. For years, I've been going to the mall and forgetting why I went there. For years. And, maybe it's because I have too much on my mind or whatever it might be. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. But now I got the arthritis. I get up in the morning and, I got to make sounds every time I get up. You know, my kids will hear me walking down the stairs, and I got to be careful now because sometimes I walk down the stairs and I think, I hope I don't fall down the stairs. Or I'm like, when I take a step, I'm like, ooh, ah. And I'll hear Alex, are you all right? I'm like, I'm fine. This is just, you don't understand. This is these are old people noises. These, these are the noises that old people make. And right now, my left hip is hurting sitting here. But, of course, I'll go to the doctor, and he's going to give me a shot, and I'm going to feel like I'm 21. Yeah, thanks for reminding me, Mr. Mitch. Some of my favorite movies, listen, I watched two of my favorite, listen, I met with a couple guys the other day. One that's a couple years younger than me. The other he's about 75. And he was telling me, you got any problems with your prostate? And I said, well, I'm starting to have some problems, yes. And he says, I got some great medicine for you. He goes, I used to get up and go to the bathroom 5 times a night. Now I only go once. And I go, well, I usually wake up once in the middle of the night, and I'm like, I should go take a leak. But he's telling me about this medicine that he uses. It's called Fortawell, for all those in need of it. And I don't know whether it works or not, but he says it does. It's made a world of difference to him. And, Alex was asking me why I'm going to the doctor and blah, blah, blah. I had to explain everything to him. And I told him, I'm getting old. I need to be, getting a checkup and be prepared when you get older. You'll go through some of the same things that, every older man goes through. The 70s were the best. I don't know about that. Everybody says, listen, I used to think when I was growing up, I wish I grew up in the 50s, man. Sock hops and drive-in movies. And I went to drive-ins when I was a kid. They still had drive-ins when I was a kid. And I used to go and smoke weed and eat popcorn and watch Dawn of the Dead, for the 500th time. That kind of thing. Wow. 39 years ago. You're an old bastard, Mr. Mitch. Everybody here is older. Actually, Longhorns is one of the younger guys, but he's got the mentality of an old man. I never liked dances anyway. I'm not like the big dancer. I'm not like, the short, chubby guy who can, do the spins and what do they call it, break dance and stuff like that. I'm the guy who's standing there watching, going, cool, man. So I'm going that through the bathroom trips. I'm 66. All right, well, Fortawell. That's what this guy swears by. I don't know if it's any good. He says he gets it shipped in from Belgium, but I believe you can get it elsewhere. But I don't know. Maybe, he's worried about the legitimacy of the... don't tell me about peeing. I don't want to know about it. And this is the thing. Let me read here. I got some. Where is it at here? Yes, when I was young, injuries were rare. Dying never occurred to me. In my mind, I was invincible, a real-life Superman. Nothing could stop me. In my younger days, I could drink all night, take a cold shower, and go to work without a hangover. Now I prefer sleeping to partying and rarely drink. Just the thought of a hangover is enough to limit my intake. Where is the part? What is this? I'm getting all these messages. It's like from the old folks' home. Let's see here if I can find this. For 500 years, people have been, for over 500, is that what I said? Over 500? People have been searching for the fountain of youth. Do people search for the fountain of the elderly? If getting old is so great, why does Hugh Hefner, I think he was still alive when I wrote this, have young girlfriends and not old? Is his main squeeze an 85-year-old he keeps tucked away from inquiring minds? When a 40-year-old cashier at the grocery calls you sir, you know you're old. I mean, everybody now calls me P. Nobody calls me, coon. They call me P, which, here in Thailand means, like old brother or whatever, or old man, depending on how you take it. Let's see here. Where is that part? Yeah. In my 60s and 70s, Depends adult diapers will set their sights on me. Wait a minute. According to Pfizer and Lilly, the manufacturers of Viagra and Cialis, the average age of the men purchasing their products is in the mid-50s. Their commercials will be targeting me in a few short years. I think I wrote this when I was 52 or something. In my 60s and 70s, Depends adult diapers will set their sights on me. Could this be the genesis of the phrase, the golden years? I thought I wrote about that. Whoever came up with that phrase, the golden years? Does that mean because you're pissing yourself? I don't understand how they came up with that. How it's such a great time. All right, let's say you retire early and you're 50. All right, you got probably 18, 20 years where maybe they are golden years. And then after that, I think it's a quick decline downwards. Oh yeah, I love this one. Children force you to grow up and change your life. Yes, they do. They force you to grow. I'd still be acting like a little 20-year-old if I didn't have kids. Those without children may think they understand life and all it encompasses, but the truth is that having children teaches a person more than they learn on their own. My sons never let me forget in their eyes I am old. When I tell them my back hurts, they ask, is it because you're old? How old are you, Daddy? 50, I say. Wow, you are old. A Thai friend once told me his mother was an old woman. How old is she? I asked. She is very old. She's 52. Perhaps he was trying to tell me something. My wife recently asked if I think we will still be having sex when I am 70. Why not, I said. Ew, really? Exactly what I needed to hear. Now here's one for Jono, if you're still listening. Growing old means exercising care when passing gas. Need I say more? I can't believe I thought of this. Oh, man. How much longer until I have that old person smell? Or do I smell old? Do I already smell old? The older I get, and this is true, the older I get, the less I care what people think of me. People have the right to like or dislike me, and vice versa. If they don't like me, fuck them. After all, what is not to like? Oh, man. We can choose how and where we live and what we do with our lives. We can choose to face impending death with a smile or go kicking and screaming. I choose to smile while giving death the middle finger and calling it a motherfucker. Yeah, that's me. So, that's about what it's about. So, you young guys out there, if there are any, I have a feeling the young guys are out there, they're sleeping with their wives right now, going at it, or they're working, or they're staying busy. They don't want to watch some old guy bitching about being old. Going to see the urologist. I mean, really, when you think about it, some old people, they smell old. There's a certain, I don't want to say musty, but kind of musty old people smell. I remember that, especially when I was young. Listen, when you're young and fresh. Your skin is smooth, I remember me. I was looking at myself, just going, "Wow, hey, look at the muscles coming in here. Wow." Now I'm like, "Oh, what's going on?" I'm getting age spots. Yesterday, I have this little, I don't know I don't know what it is. I got a freckle here, right? Which the freckle's been there for a while, but then yesterday I noticed, oh, I got a little cut here. I'm like, how did I get cut there? And when you get old, you have all these little things going on with you. You don't even know about it. Then you look down and you go, what happened? You know. You start getting the ear in the hair. You start talking backwards. You start getting hair in your ears. Ear in the hair. There's a sign I'm getting old, or I am old right now. I start getting ear in my hair. You start getting you get that, you get it in the nose, you got hair sprouting up from places you don't know that hair could exist. This is what getting old is about. And, I got to listen to my wife. And women are even worse, because they're, very insecure about their looks most of the time. And, or just insecure about little things of their body or, how they look and this and that, Getting old ain't for sissies. I love that. Well, and I will say this. I mean, there are times when I'm just like, I joke about it. I'm laughing about it now because I feel like that's kind of the way that you got to approach it. You approach it with humor, and it's real. It's as real as you get. You're gonna get old, and then there's no way around it. You can stave it off a little bit. You can look like you're 25 like me. You can get lucky and good genetics and all that. But the bottom line is you're gonna have it happen to you. You are going to age. You better just deal with it. Grin and bear it and get through it. So you might as well have humor, have a humorous approach to it. But there are times when it's usually in late afternoon, which is one reason why I think I drink coffee, because around the afternoon, around 2 o'clock, man, I start getting tired. I'm like, I need a nap. I'm taking the old people naps every once in a while now. And I'll be like, you know what? I'll have some double espresso. I don't know. Is it? I don't know. I guess it depends on how much pain you're in. I'm in pain, but I can handle it. It's not anything that's extreme every single minute of every single day. It's, little niggling kind of chronic pains that are, on a scale of 1 to 10, they're like 3s. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I'm like, I better take I better drink some espresso. And sometimes it works, and I'm like, okay, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do this, I got to do that. And once I hit around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, I'm already tired. But if I don't have the espresso, I got to, power through it. And usually I power through it for an hour, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to lay here for a minute and just take catch my breath. And the next thing you know, I'm asleep, and I take a little 20-minute power nap or 30-minute power nap, and I'm like, and the last thing I want is my wife to catch me. Sometimes on the weekends, she's like, she wants to sleep, she wants to lay around, she does the laundry or whatever, cooks dinner. And sometimes she works, but most of the time she tries not to now. And yeah, well, that's the thing. I don't want my parents to go through me dying first. That's for sure. But sometimes I'll be doing my thing, and maybe I do a stream or whatever, or I'll come back from before when I was walking around a lot more. I'll come back and I'll be like, man, take a shower and I lay down and I'm asleep and she'll come in. What are you doing? I'm taking a nap. Why'd you wake me up? Well, don't you have things to do? How come you can sleep and not have things to do, but I got things to do and I'm not allowed to take a nap? You know what I mean? I don't sleep all that good at night either. Oh, God. You sleep better at night when you have... Oh. Yeah. I was saying yesterday that for me, I can handle the external pain. I can handle the arthritis. It's, it's irritating. It's frustrating. I don't like it. I don't like getting up and like, what's the word? Hobbling around for the first 5-10 minutes until my body gets warmed up if I've been sitting down for a long period of time. I don't like it. It's not fun. But it's better than the internal pain. And I don't mean mental internal pain. I mean internal pain as in internal organs. Like, your gallbladder needs to be removed, or this is infected, or that's infected, or, you got a prostate, enlarged prostate, or whatever it might be. The internal stuff is what gets you. The external stuff, usually people can, you can rip your arm half off and, you can sew it back on. I mean, if you can sew a pecker back on, you can sew an arm back on. So that's not really the problem. The problem is the internal stuff. It's the organs, the heart, the lungs, the liver, the stomach, the kidney, the bladder, all that stuff. That's the fun stuff. That's the stuff where no one is, well, yeah, I mean, listen, I complain, of course I do. But you know what? I take a couple, Nurofen, Motrin. I take a couple, and then usually, for at least a brief period of time, I'm okay. I thought I had some Nurofen over there. I haven't got any lately. I've been just dealing with it. But, the Nurofen's good stuff. But I still complain. You're on a roll, Mr. Mitch. You're on a roll. Why you got to say that about member? That's FUBAR, huh? Member, what? Members only? I remember seeing something on the Sopranos where they're sitting outside, having their espresso and their coffee and everything. And, Paulie Walnuts has got the sun on him with the little reflector thing. That member. And they're talking about how they dress. And one of them says to, I think it was, who was it? Gino or whatever, the guy who hung himself when, he got a couple $1 million from his grandmother or something, and he wanted out of the mafia, and then Tony wouldn't let him, and he ended up hanging himself. Anyway, somebody said something and said, oh yeah, you're real fashionable with that members-only jacket. That thing went out like 1980 or something. And back then, that was only, 15 years or so before members only supposedly went out of fashion. And the thing is I'm sitting there going, I used to have a members only jacket. I used to have a pair of bell-bottom jeans. And used to have the jeans with the little, the Daisy Duke kind of jeans. And they were in fashion back then, And now look at it. It's like, I would never wear that stuff. So it's official. Yeah, you're old then. That makes you old. I should have done that a long time ago. Yeah, you have no idea. Well, you will. You will. If you don't know now, you will know later. And, I love these people. They're like, oh, you stop complaining about it. Listen, I'm not complaining. I could be far worse off. I could have had a stroke and had 3 heart attacks and, all these things. Of course. It's reality. I told my kid the other day, listen, I'll never forget the urologist. I went to the urologist once. This is a couple years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. I go in, to get a checkup or whatever. And he tells me, the next time you come in, bring one of your kids. He said, I'd like to meet them. I said, okay, yeah, sure. So then, I don't know. The next time I remembered, I brought one of my kids in. Oh, believe me, I don't care about fashion at this point. Because I don't really have all that many places that I go where I have to, feel like I'm important and I have to be dressed up in my suit. I used to. Not anymore. I still got a couple of suits left, but I never wear them. I don't know if they fit me anymore. But anyway, I think it was Alex, I bring him in first. And the doctor, he's a urologist. He goes, listen, this is your son? Yes, this is my son. No, I haven't had one, and I'm going to have to, I know. All good things come to those who wait. So he tells my kid, take your pants down. I want to see your penis. And he goes, what? He said, what? He looks at me and he goes, no, really? And I go, get used to it. This is going to have to happen for a long time. You're going to be, you're going to have to get that thing checked. And when you get old, there are going to be some things done to you that you're not even thinking about right now. He's like, so, he drops his drawers. The doctor gives him a little feel and tells him to cough, and he gets through it. And then I told Nicholas, you're next. He's like, no. I'm not going. Alex told me. Oh, really? Well, I guess I'm overdue then. Anything having to do with the back passage and poo, even I'm not like, hey, listen, I think it's a good chance to, I'm going to become a proctologist. Yeah. So what are you in school for? You got some hot looking chick and you're like, well, I'm studying to be a doctor. What kind of doctor? You going to be a dentist? Well, that's not really a doctor. Are you going to be a general practitioner? What are you going to be? Well, I'm proctology. Huh? Yeah, I'm researching the asshole. I'm studying all about the anus and the whole system. Can you imagine that? I guess, but what makes you want to go to there? Isn't it enough that you shit every day? Finding a niche. I would say the anus is certainly a niche. What is that? I have to look at this because I wrote about this once too. Oh yeah, here we go. Let me see if I can find it here. Because it was some of my better stuff, I would say. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, here we go. The human nose is a logistical nightmare. Normally, people go through life without giving their nostrils much thought, except perhaps when full of gunk and their finger is in it, knuckle deep. Unlike the lowly anus, hidden neatly from view, the nose ports are wide open for all to see. If someone accidentally leaves a dingleberry behind, it goes unseen. If they overlook their schnozzle and forget to pay attention, they could unknowingly walk all over town with a gelatinous, multicolored blob dangling from their proboscis. Oh yeah, good stuff there. I'll give myself a pat on the back. That's the thing. If you got a dingleberry, or you got a, what do they call them, hemorrhoidals. You got some hemorrhoidal condition. You can walk around and people aren't like, look at that. But if you got a big mocha hanging out of your nose, people know. I hope someone hits a home run so I can walk home. I look like this at 63. I've rounded third base. I just need to decide to run in or slide. I think I'm gonna take the old bull, young bull approach. I think I'm gonna try to walk in. I'm gonna take it easy and walk in. That's what I'm gonna do. Let's see here. Anyway, this is what it's all about here. When it comes down to it, like I told Jono, when it boils down to it, once you get a little older, you realize that you can cut the fluff. Let me see if I can turn this here. There we go. Trim the fat, cut the fluff. And what it boils down to is what's most important in life. I think when you spend half your life or the majority of your life figuring out what it is you want to do and what you like and what you enjoy and what you don't like. You marry some woman when you're 17 or 18, and then you figure 6 months later you're a completely different person. She wants this and she wants that, and you're divorced by 18 or whatever. That kind of thing happens. By the time you're 50, you're like, what the hell was I thinking? So it boils down to, by the time you get to be about 50 or 60, you realize the only thing that's important is, don't make me laugh, all right? The only thing that's important is your family, your parental units, your siblings, and your good friends, your true friends. Those are really the only thing, to me, that's what's important. Listen, I enjoy photography. I love photography. I like writing still. Once in a while, I like YouTube and streaming and stuff like that, and I usually feel better afterwards, which is a good thing. Stick your face in mud, that's what it looks like. Yeah, I guess that's what it looks like. I don't know. I haven't had one yet. I need to have one, I guess. And, I got to get the full checkup. I got to go for the full Monty. So, that's going to happen very, very soon. And I don't even like, a piss test is one thing. That's simple enough. But, how many guys, or women for that matter, how many people actually like taking a poo test? Giving a stool sample. I've only had to do it once or twice in my life. It's not exactly the most enjoyable, Can't they come up with something where, you take a crap and, it just automatically goes into their system and they can test you? Why do you have to, hold a stick underneath your butt or whatever? And I haven't got that, Now you can swallow a camera the size of a pill, but you do have to give it back. Are you serious? Well, giving it back, if you can just, this is what I mean. I don't want to have to, fumble around to find it. I don't want to have to go searching through the waste in order to find some little needle in a haystack, so to speak. Wouldn't surprise me. It's like, what is it? What was that movie? The Fantastic Voyage? Remember that? When was that? When did that come out? Whew. Let me see here. (1966). They miniaturized a team of experts that enter his body to help him. Lovely. Be good for a magic school bus. Wasn't there Jonathan Swift? What? You guys are losing me now. I know I have a lack of focus as I've gotten older also. I focus on a couple things. I want to lay down and go to sleep or take a nap. I need to go take a piss or the other. I want to eat. And it's time to do a YouTube stream. That's about it. That's what I'm good for. You know. Sometimes I like to read, but it does tax the brain a little bit. Gennaro, somebody said hello to you. I don't know if you know that. I'm sure you're thrilled. Raquel Welch was in the Fantastic Voyage. I forgot all about that. Was she really? That was when she was pretty hot. Edmund O'Brien, he was in it too. Donald Pleasance. Yeah, those were the days. Let's see, how old was she? Well, back then she was 26 years old. She was in her prime. She was smoking. Now she's 40, 70, 80 years old. Well, you know. I think she's pretty much done. Oh, I'm sure she looked fantastic in it. She was a good-looking woman. I mean, you know, how can you deny that? What was that show she was in? Was it Seinfeld? Oh, yeah, it was Seinfeld where Kramer had to fire her. Which was pretty good. That was pretty funny. I think that was it. Let's see here. She's held together pretty good for, you know, being 80 years old. Where's it at? Well, she took a little time off, didn't she? She's made her own way, she's done her thing the way she wanted to. She was in Mork and Mindy. She was Captain Nirvana. Ooh. Let's see here. There, she was in Seinfeld, 1997. What's funny is that she was in that show, The Summer of George. And that was 20-something years ago. That was 23 years ago. 23 years ago she was on that show. So she was 57 at the time. She still looked great. Oh, yeah. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Except it's not my birthday. It's the young lady. I don't want to call her the old lady. It's the young lady's birthday. Oh, God. Remember, what was her name? Gina Lola Brigida? Is anybody that old? They remember her? Or Mae West? I used to watch all those movies. I used to watch all the old movies. Man, she died in 1980, Mae West. She was 87. She was born. Mae West was born. She died 40 years ago. You see, 1980, and I'm like, oh, that's not that long ago. It's 40 years ago. But she was born in 1893. Why don't you come up and see me sometime? I remember that from, her real name was Mary Jane West. Wow. Anyway, we could go on and on. Jean Harlow, yeah, I liked her. You know who I liked was, what was the one, Anna Karenina, or whatever it was? Jean Harlow died when she was 26. Kidney failure. What is it? Anna Karenina. That was Greta Garbo, right? Anybody? Anybody remember that? Mae West, big in the 50s. She was big before the 50s. I hate to tell you that, but she was big in the 40s, and she was big even before she got on TV. She was big before then. Anyway, I think it's we're at an hour and 20 minutes. I'm trying to keep these streams a little bit shorter. I think that's a good thing. Let's see here. I got to look at something real quick. Was you in Burma recently? I've been in Burma like 25 times, but it's been a couple of years, 2 years or so. Something like that. I don't remember the last time, but I'll be going back soon. I got a few places that are out of the way that most people don't ever think about going to that I want to go to. So, yeah, I will be going. But I'm not. I really don't want to go anywhere at least for another month or two, just because I want to see how this virus pans out. I want to see. There's a few things I want to see. I want to see about my health. I'm not exactly healthy right now. I'm not as healthy as I should be. But, that can be rectified. So, anyway, happy birthday to my wife. She's 21. Or maybe she's 25. I forget. I wanted to read something, though. Now that I wanted to read this at the beginning of the stream, but I didn't. But this is from, is he in the stream right now? I don't know. Let me see here. I think he was earlier. Let's see here. Let's see here. Could have sworn. Yeah, he was in earlier. Let me read this comment, though. It is pretty easy to find failed relationships with Thai women. Yes, it is. And I would dare say, before I even go any farther, I dare say that the majority of them come because the relationships were rushed or because of a lack of cultural understanding between the two people in the relationship. Also, because of perhaps financial reasons or whatever, but I mean, I think it depends on how the relationship was set up. Oh, Jesus. In many of the cases I've seen here, there is a huge age gap. And other than the physical attraction, financial attraction, there is really no content to keep a relationship alive. I do, however, know of many successful couples, including my relationship with my wife. There is less than a 5-year age difference with us, and most of my Farang friends who are married to Thai women of a similar age have a good relationship. We are also involved with women who are college educated and had decent careers, whether it is nursing, education, banking. My wife was open about us having a relationship that ensured companionship up to our older ages, as you had mentioned, regarding growing old together. Although many, I'm not going to say Farang, although many Westerners I know haven't got this figured out and probably get their ego stroked by the proverbial "you handsome man." None of my wife's friends would think of pulling that bullshit. In fact, they usually tell me that I would look better if I shaved and dropped a few pounds. I get that all the time. To be honest, that's what I get. Oh, why do you have a beard? My wife just tolerates it. It's not that she loves it. I appreciate their candidness. We've been married 10 years now, and life is always better when we are in Thailand. I don't know that being in Thailand means that life is always better or any of that kind of thing. I mean, listen, if you're visiting, that's one thing as opposed to living here. But hang on a second here. Oh, where am I at? Been married 17 years, 5-year difference. Well, my difference is 14 years. And I can say that is probably about 14, 15 years, maybe 20 if... God damn it. Yeah, I didn't mean to do that. Maybe 20 if you're lucky. 15 if you're lucky. If the person is fairly mature and you are fairly knowledgeable about the culture. By the time I got married, I was fairly knowledgeable about Thai culture, and I spoke Thai, and all that kind of stuff helps. If you're the kind of guy, you come here and you meet a girl and you're with her, for a couple of weeks or a month, and then you come back and you're here for a couple of weeks and you go, that's it, I want to get married. I think your chances are slim to none. I think it's very difficult. And the other thing is, are you here? Are they there? Where did you meet them? And that kind of thing. But I do think that generally, you don't see very many people in Thai culture who are married. You don't see some Thai guy who's 70 and the woman is 25, and unless it's something of a financial arrangement, it just doesn't really happen. And so, I think for many people. The other thing is that when you get older, like now, my wife, is at an age where she's mature. She's not what she was when I met her, which was she was still immature. I was a little immature because I just hadn't really had all that many responsibilities. But once, the kids came, that was it. You got to be responsible. You don't have a choice. And, now she's older, I'm older, and, we were talking about it yesterday, and that is that I'm going to get older, she's going to get older, but chances are I'm going to get to a point where I may need help. I may need help from her, from my kids. I may need, well, hopefully I won't need any like nurse that 24-hour care or anything for many years, if ever. But I do think that if let's say a guy is 25 and he meets a girl here, she's 22, 23, you have a much better chance, or 32 and 30 or something like that, you have a much better chance of the relationship working. I think that if you're 10, 15 years apart, 5 years apart, it really depends. Well, not 5, but 10 or 15, maybe even 20. If you're that far apart in age, you better have some experience with Thai women, and they better know a little bit about Western culture, and you better have the same mindset, which is to grow old, to be companion, to be companions, and to live for the family, and the family comes first, and those kind of things. You better understand that. It's not like, listen, if I was going out to the bars every night, partying and coming home at 3 o'clock in the morning, my wife would divorce me. I can tell you that right now. She'd divorce me. Once in a while I go out or something, it's no big deal because she knows I don't want to do that, So, 40 years is good for you. Well, that's really good. I appreciate that. Whatever works for you, man. Anyway. This stream has run its course. Another day has begun. It's now 10:27 here in Bangkok, Thailand. And I think that if you think, listen, you go out once in a while and you hang out once in a while and you go with your buddies or something. Most sane Thai women understand that there's nothing wrong with this. And I don't have a problem with her going out once. She goes out to dinner with her girlfriends or whatever every once in a while. I don't have a problem with it. It doesn't bother me at all. In fact, you need that. Sometimes you need that space. And I think one of the biggest problems that I see is that some guys who get involved with women who work in the bars, the women, they are so insecure or they don't trust their man because they know how men can be, or some men can be, that they want to be with them 24/7. And that, for me at least, that would get on my nerves. I mean, I love my wife and I like being with her and I like hanging out with her, but like to be with her every second of every day, I'm sorry. I don't think she wants to be with me every minute and every second of every day. And I don't want to be with her every second of every day, constantly. What are you doing? What's going on? Hey, what are we going to do now? I mean, I don't want to be with my kids every second of every day, and I know they don't want to be with me every second of every day. So, you got to have your own space and your own life. But anyway, that's all I got. So, happy birthday again to her. What else? Please click, what is it that I say? Yeah, this stream has run its course. Appreciate everybody watching. Thank you to all those who contributed. Thank you to those who watched and who continue to watch on a regular basis. Thank you to my Patreon patrons. Thank you to the VIP members of my website. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to those who buy T-shirts, books, yada, yada, yada. Please, if you are not subscribed already, please subscribe. Should I do the whole shtick? Please subscribe. Please smash that bell. Click like. Click share. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about aging. I just can't be that mainstream. I'm sorry. I gotta be me. Leave a comment if you want to. Let me know what you think about getting old, what you think about the differences between an older guy and his younger wife or whatever. You want to say happy birthday, say happy birthday. But again, if you want to buy the merch, use the code Malin20. No, not Malin20. Malin10. And get 10% off of all of my merch. Everything's in the description. Please click like. I'd appreciate that. And until next time, I guess that's all I got. I really wish I could play some exit music that was like rock and roll. I will leave you with this. Maybe Gennaro knows who they are. I just heard of song, and I don't remember the name of it. It's So Peculiar or something like that. The name of the group is Suksan One Good. Thank you. Thank you, Victor. The name of the group is Fanny. Fanny. The couple of sisters. And I saw this, I just stumbled into it, I looked at it on Spotify, and actually they have influenced quite a few groups. They were like 1972, this song, something like It's Peculiar or something like that. That's my little tip for the day there. But they were a bunch of Filipino-American chicks, or at least two of them were. They were sisters. And, you know, they played a little rock and roll, and that's my point, I guess. That's it. There's no real point. So if you want to give them a listen, but like I said, I've been listening to. Sorry, I didn't know the Pogues weren't Irish. I thought they were Irish. They are known as a Celtic band, or they play Celtic music, type music, or something like that. But I didn't mean to, call them Irish when they were actually British. So, anyway, that's all. Enough goodbyes. So, arrivederci, goodbye, hasta luego, and choke the la jerken my.